Welcome to the Dawg Chug. Roger and Ed, how is it going today?
Ed, Andy, I don't know, man. It's Wednesday. I look forward to Wednesdays. It just breaks the week up. Dawg Chug at night. Coming off a crazy. Just yesterday was crazy on X. Man, I stood in line at the polls the longest, and man, it was like 40 minutes, and I don't know, about 2 hours later, somebody's like, "Hey, we have the same voting poll," and he sent a picture, or they sent a picture. I don't know if it's and it was like, man, they were like 200 yards from the damn door. I was like, man, that's crazy. And that was like 6:30 at night. So
You stood in
it was
line.
a wild ride yesterday. Pardon?
Why not do the mail-in voting? Save you the trip.
Yeah, but it's a good thought there.
In 4 years, when we're doing this dumb show, I want you to say I took you up on the mail-in voting. It was awesome. Filled out my thing, put it in the mail. I was done. Anyway.
No, I got to be there to say, nope, I'm old school. I want to go fill that little oval out. I forgot my readers. I had to get the magnifying glass out on the phone so I could fill out the right ovals. Yeah, I like it. I like it that way. I took like 30 minutes in the booth. So everybody, waiting was like, by the time I'm walking out, they're giving me dirty looks. Old people get the dirty looks from the impatient people that want to vote because I took so long.
Nice. Now, do you
I
vote
love
on?
it. I enjoy
vote
it.
on everything, or do you skip the ones you don't know that much about?
No, I read up and I don't just circle something if I don't know the issue. But I generally know what I'm doing in there. I don't just throw darts.
So what's taking so long? Why is it taking so long?
Because I couldn't read it. I had to do the magnifying and I'm making mistakes. And, it's just the boot's small and I'm hitting my elbows on the thing and the whole thing shimmies and moves. I love it.
All right. Ed, how about you? Mail-in voter? Do you go to the polls?
Well, actually, I took my daughter. It was her first election. So we went together on election day. First thing as the polls opened at 6:30. We got it done. That was fun. And she did her civic duty. She feels good about being an American. I feel good about being a dad, being a proud American. And yeah, we obviously had an election yesterday, Andy, but tonight we're going to have some fun. So everybody out there, I know there's, people going at it on X and different social media platforms. Remember, we are one America still, and on the Dawg Chug tonight, we're going to have fun and prove that we are one America. We're just probably the not the better half of America. We'll prove that tonight with our shenanigans. So tune into us, get your adult beverage. We're going to have some fun tonight. And I will say one thing, Andy, and since I came back to the Dawg Chug, I don't want to make political statements, but I will say one thing. We have made Dawg Chug great again. I don't know if we're going to do that again tonight, but we'll try.
Okay. We did talk, regardless of which way this went. We're gonna have a stupid show for you guys. So hopefully we can execute that. I know it. This is typically like a Cleveland Browns show. Doesn't it feel like the Cleveland Browns played like 3 weeks ago? Am I the only one?
I feel like they're dead.
Pretty much.
It's like I went to the funeral Monday.
Yeah, it does feel like it's been a while. But anyway, we're still going to have some fun. Why don't we get that fun started with a little bit that Ed likes to do called Break Ed News?
That's right. This is Ed in Columbus with your Dawg Chug. Break Ed News. The Cleveland Browns head into the bye with a disappointing 2-7 record, or what Hugh Jackson would say, success. The Ohio State men's basketball Buckeyes beat number 19 Texas in their opener. Hold up. Ohio State has a basketball team? And finally, the Kansas City Chiefs have started their season 8-0, and it took them 2 months, while the Cleveland Cavaliers only took 13 days to go 8-0. Maybe Taylor Swift is slowing them down. And this is Ed in Columbus with your Dawg Chug. Break Ed News.
Wow. Well done, Ed. Beautiful.
Andy. Thank you, Andy. I saw Andy put out a beautiful.
No, I was just going to say, I got that tweet from your Break Ed News.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you.
Future Manch saw that breaking news. I thought it was so clever that I posted it back in time.
Wow, that Andy is a true professional. I ripped at people out there. I ripped them off. Okay, but thank God for Future Man. Thank you, Andy, for that. But no, I totally ripped you off there, Andy.
Lysandra says hello. Hi, Lysandra. I think there's a rumor she might be on next week, which would be awesome.
Yeah, which
We're gonna have a
she's going to check
series
the
of-
schedule, but it pretty much she's going to come out tonight. But they were just on before the show, the Squad Pod. Man, awesome show. They had the mayor of Canton on, and he's going to fix it that the pizza oven will deliver me a pie from Canton delivered to Cuyahoga Falls because the pizza oven's got tremendous pie. But Catch Bougie, they said they got something coming up for Thanksgiving. We got to keep an eye out too. What else? It was a great show. Make sure you catch those guys. Those ladies, I'm sorry.
Awesome. Roger, I think we got a little Dawg Chug update you wanna do for everybody?
We do, and this is also inspired by one of your tweets about Jameis Winston.
Killing.
Yeah, so here we go. This is Dawg Chug update. Jameis Winston met with the media this week after the loss to the LA Chargers. Winston preached the cliche one day at a time hopelessness as the way out of the 2-7 record and cited his faith in the Lord. Dawg Chug reached out to the Lord via text message, and the Almighty had this to say. Lord, sorry to bother you, Jameis Winston said. He's going to take it one play at a time and put his faith in you. What? Get the fuck out of here. Crab Leg said that? LOL. Tell him to have faith. He'll throw 3 picks next week against my Saints. Man, I hate the fucking Browns. 4 cry laughing emoji, coughing emoji, skull and crossbone emoji.
Ooh.
From Jesus. All right. Bill Belichick appeared on Monday Night Football Manningcast this week and was his usual straightforward hoodie self. He spoke on liking Mayfield coming out of Oklahoma, and he said it wasn't good that he went to Cleveland. Once again, we reached out to the Lord for a comment. Lord, Dawg Chug again. Belichick said it wasn't good Mayfield went to Cleveland. Is that true? That son of a bitch hoodie. Multiple cry laughing emojis. The Browns head coach was Hugh Jackson. What do you think, numbnuts? That's not exactly breaking news. Hey, listen. Hugh would pray every week during 0-16 for a win, and I'd just be like, 3 here, no evil monkey emojis, 4 more cry laughing emojis, hashtag fuck the Browns. And finally, ESPN 850's Aaron Goldhammer ripped Andrew Berry today for trading away Zadarius Smith to a Super Bowl contending Lions. Goldhammer cited the franchise's aspirations at the start of the season, and what we have now is a 2-7 team on a teardown at the bye week. He hammered away at Berry and said, Andrew Berry will go out and take a bow as yet another team gets better because of the work he does running the Cleveland Browns. We figured, what the hell? And we asked the Lord what he thinks. First time hearing about it. Lord, you didn't know that the Lions got a lot better today trading for Zadarius Smith? Hell yeah, I knew. We almost got in a Joko too, fuckers. Hashtag extend Andrew Berry's ass. Hashtag fuck the Browns. Hashtag one pride. Hashtag what would I do, bitches? In related news, all this proves my theory. The Lord hates the Cleveland Browns. I'm Roger First in Cuyahoga Falls, and this was the fake news.
Wow. Man, the Lord certainly uses a lot of emojis. Who knew? That's wild.
Well, you know.
I thought emojis were for like the young kids, but in the Lord's, been around for a long time.
He likes the emojis. And the Lions.
Does like the Lions.
One pride.
It's similar to how you like the Lions.
It's similar, and the use of emojis is similar.
No, you use spaces.
I use a lot of spaces too.
And also, too, the Lord doesn't write as much as you do with your posts as well.
Yeah, the Lord was succinct. I don't know if you noticed that.
The Dead Sea Scrolls. That's what he's writing.
Wow. Well, good job. Man, the Lord is not a fan of the Cleveland Browns. Who would have thought? Yeah,
everybody knows.
All right. And finally, I think we have a top 10. If anyone's sad or despondent about today's last night's news, I guarantee you're gonna laugh a little bit when Ned reads these top 10. So
we hope so. But tonight's top 10 is inspired by obviously the election yesterday. So I thought it'd be kind of fun if we had a top 10 Cleveland sports figures who would shake up the White House if they were in the presidency. Number 10, Paul Dolan. He will cut spending, like all of it. Number 9, Hugh Jackson. You're gonna have to trust me on this one, everyone. Number 8,
Jeez.
Kenny Atkinson. He knows how to win with a solid core. Number 7, Jose Ramirez. He doesn't speak English, so he will make our illegals feel right at home. Number 6, Stephen Vogt would get Congress to vote his agenda. Number 5, Deshaun Watson. Wouldn't be the first president with sexual assault charges. Number 4, Mary Kay Cabot. Her voice when talking about Watson playing is more annoying than Kamala's cackle. Number 3, Kevin Stefanski. Smart, tough, accountable, and Stefanski girl Lana Bougie could be his Lewinsky. Number 2, Donovan Mitchell. He wins even in Cleveland. He can make America great. And the number 1 Cleveland sports figure that would shake up the White House is Johnny Manziel. Win or lose, America, we booze. And that's tonight's top 10.
Wow. Good
Wow.
job, Ed.
Good job, Ed.
It certainly cheered me up. That was very funny. Except for the Stephen Vogt one. Yeah.
It's just too easy. Election, vote. I don't. That's bad.
Your puns are amazing. No, keep the puns shitty. They're better when they're shitty. I like the shitty puns. So good job. All right. We have a fabulous guest. He's been on many times. Roger, you were the one that recruited. Why don't you talk him up?
Well, he's my editor for some articles that I wrote. And he's the best damn editor to ever correct a paragraph.
He also has the toughest job being an editor. Editing.
Yes, that. What is his birthday? He's like 41. He turned 41 yesterday, and he won a chili cook-off in the entire Dayton metropolitan region. He was the chili making champion. That was this week. And anything our buddy Bill, my paisan.
Welcome to the Dawg Chug, Bill. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Grazie. Thank you very much. 59. I'm 59. I like the
Yes,
41,
sir,
though. I appreciate that. But 59 is more the correct. It ain't the years. It's the mileage.
You're just saying you're 59, so we don't feel old, and I appreciate that.
I've been following the Browns since 72, and that's probably too long to be following that team.
Oh. Can you imagine what it's like to be, an 18-year-old rooting for the Chiefs? Whole life, they've just been fucking amazing.
I know. We've never had that feeling ever.
Well, no.
Sucks.
Well, and I don't think we'll be getting that feeling anytime soon. I don't think.
You don't think we're going to win the bye week this week?
Not with laser eyes. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, Bill, speaking of laser, I'm glad you brought that up because Andrew Barry had a little press conference today, and I don't know if you saw that. And I wanted, it's your birthday boy, I want your takes on what you heard today and expound on anything that you might feel is a little bit nonsensical.
Nonsensical. Okay, so I'm taking I'm taking 2 Bowling Green math classes for my just to kind of continue my education and everything as a math teacher here down in Dayton, right? And so every time we read a article or we read a book, we're supposed to pick like we call it our golden line, right? Pick a golden line and tell what it meant to you, what you think about it, how you can incorporate that in your classroom, right? I swear to goodness, 3 minutes in, this is directly from Andrew Barry. I'm not in a reflection mode right now. Are you kidding me? You're not in a reflection mode right now? I mean, 3 minutes in and already I was like, are you got to be kidding me. You are seriously not going to take any criticism. You're not going to take any kind of, it's my fault, guys. It's my fault. This is my team. I put it, nothing like that. You know what? I kind of stopped watching it like that. I don't know. Who was it that asked a question? And it seemed like Barry kind of hesitated. It was early. Like
I think it was Daryl. Might have been Daryl Ryder.
It might have been Daryl. And he kind of hesitated. I'm like, man, I'm done. I can't watch this. I just want I wanted him to kind of say a little bit more. Instead, what he's doing is he's just, it's so funny. I do feel bad for Kevin. And, Lysandra, you can tell Lana this. I do feel bad for her husband, right? Because it seems like he's the one who has to stand up here and suffer all the slings and the arrows and everything else. And the only time Barry comes up is when they have the bye week. That's it. That's the only time.
Yep.
Or like last week or 2 weeks ago when they gave the game ball to Donovan's wife and daughter, right? And that's okay. But I'm sitting here like, are you kidding me? You're the one who saw you had 3 offensive linemen who had serious injuries. And what did you do? You signed a wide receiver. You had a running back that had a major knee. I mean, we're talking major issues with their knee. And I don't even think he's going to be 100%. I don't think he's 100% healthy now. He probably won't be till the end of the year.
No.
And did you do anything else? Oh, we signed like a 3rd string running back. We're good. I'm telling you, man, Ed, I had to calm down. I had a birthday yesterday.
They replaced.
I had my grandkids talk to me. I was like, I'm just going to relax.
They literally gave Hunt deal to bring in what's his face?
Deontay Foreman.
And now Kareem Hunt's playing
awesome.
Amazing. And Deontay Foreman is. Did he get? I don't think he was active last week.
But, that's a good question. I don't
think he was.
I don't think he was. You're right.
Yeah, because they had Ford in, and Foreman I don't think was.
That's
You're
right.
Yeah.
Holy cow! I think, man, Andy, good call on that one.
We pay attention to a little bit of football on the Dawg Chug, but don't give us a quiz or ask us another question because we'll get it wrong.
That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, that was an interesting press conference. I was I'm going to rewatch it. Okay. I really did. I got to like the 8-minute mark or 9-minute mark, and I'm like, are you kidding me? He's just, oh my gosh.
I mean, this is a politically day, and I don't want to get political, but like one of the complaints, I guess you could say, about Kamala is that when they asked her questions, sometimes she wouldn't really answer the question, and the Republicans were guilty of that too. When they would ask him about certifying the election, the vice president would never answer that question. So politicians don't answer. I think Andrew Barry acts a little too much like a politician sometimes. He just doesn't. He's just not going to tell you anything. Like my wife called me right in the beginning of that press conference, and I'm like, oh, I'm listening, and she goes, oh, I'll let you go, and I go, no, he's not going to say anything. I just had a conversation with her, and then I thought about, should I go back and rewatch that? And I'm like, nah. Because he's not going to say anything. It's all going to be waiting until they could do in the off season. So it is what it is, and maybe that's a reason that they should clean house. I don't know, but
I know I would think that he is. I would think that he's. I don't know, unless he feels that he's safe in his job or something like that. But I mean, and we may talk about this later, and I don't want to jump the gun on this, but. After listening to a lot of different media people and reading some different stories, I'm beginning to think that Haslam really didn't want to leave and let go of Baker, that he had to be convinced. And of course, the 2 people who had to do the convincing were Barry and the man who should be fired immediately out in San Diego, DePodesta. I mean, that is one of the most ridiculous stories that no one's going to tell. I think when somebody gets fired, then I think we'll hear something, right? But we're not going to hear anything until then.
I think, one of the things that the Cleveland Browns organization looks for is routine. Just keep doing it day in and day out, and don't ever get off track. Sometimes there is a moment to like look at what we're doing and say, whoa, this isn't working. Like, let's pivot, or let's be honest, or whatever. The Browns just are so like, every year I'm going to do the bye week press conference. I'm not going to say a damn thing because as soon as I say something, the I'm going to make a story and it's become a distraction. We don't want distractions. So all we're doing is focus on not making distractions. But to your point, sometimes you have to, be a human being and like connect with where we're at and what's actually happening, because they are selling a product to the fans. And sometimes I think it is the right thing to do to open up and let some emotion out. That's not what the Browns I think are looking for these days, and maybe that's something that they should be. I don't know.
That's a great point, Andy. That is a great point, because this team just seems to have very little emotion. I mean, I take that back. The defensive backs have a lot of emotion when they finally make a tackle after missing 4. Lord in heaven.
Now, I saw today Andrew Barry did say, talking about Kevin Stefanski, that he likes him, that he's everything right and everything. He said all the right words to kind of give him the vote of confidence there. What are your takes on that? Obviously, that's probably what, like, to Andy's point, that's what he's got to say is political. But Roger, go ahead. What do you think about this, Roger?
I was waiting. That's exactly what I was going to bring up. Was
okay.
Andrew Barry gave a vote of confidence to Kevin Stefanski, and that's like the captain of the Titanic giving a vote of confidence to the pilot. It don't fucking matter, man. You know what? They don't give a shit. Because you said it, Paul DePodesta. I was a big fan of DePodesta, Bill. Huge fan of DePodesta. He was here with Sashi Brown, and they did exactly what needed to be done to end the 3-13s, the 12 and 4, the 4 and 12, and all that nonsense over and over and over. And then Haslam stepped in, and he screwed it up with Hugh Jackson, and Haslam stepped in. But DePodesta, he's the boss. He hired everybody. He hired Stefanski first. Then he hired Andrew Barry like a couple days later. He's the one that needs to answer for all this. And he just sits in San Diego, like you said. I don't think he gives a rat's ass one way or the other about the Cleveland Browns. And I think at that point is when you cut ties with somebody. You know what I mean? He's not here in Berea every day trying to figure out where it went wrong. I just, you know me, I'm onto one pride, baby.
Yeah,
I'm at war against the Cleveland Browns.
Roger, I think most of the fan base is the same way. I think you're right. I think they are at war with them, and it's not the players. It's not the players. And I don't think it's Kevin Stefanski. I really think Stefanski's hands have been tied, and I think he's being told what to do. And I feel bad for Kevin in that regard. I'm beginning to think more and more that I was kind of critical of Kevin. I'm beginning to see a little bit more that I think he's being forced to do things.
Yeah.
Well, I remember we had a good coach back in the late 80s named Marty Schottenheimer, and he was told to do a certain few things, and he went to Kansas City because of it. I don't think Kevin, obviously, with the way the NFL is and the coaching carousel, I don't think coaches have that, pull. But at the same time, I don't think that, a strong organization, you look at the Patriots with Bill Belichick, you look at the Steelers with Mike Tomlin, say what you want. But to me, Andy Reid in Kansas City, to me, when you look at a strong organization and with the continuity and everything that you want, to me, it starts with a strong head coach first. And I felt like Kevin could have been that, but he's kind of getting the rug pulled underneath him. And it's kind of like we're seeing that now. So I don't know how it's going to work out in Cleveland if it continues this way, but it's not exactly the way that you'd want the 2-time coach of the year to be treated, I would say.
I want to go back to the endorsement by Andrew Barry today of Kevin Stefanski. Look, go back to Baker's final year. They were saying all the right things about Baker. He's our guy. We love him. Blah, 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 blah. He gives us the best chance to win. They let him continue to play with his bum shoulder. A horrible, disappointing season. And then when we got to the offseason, Mary Kay chimes in. They're considering upgrading the quarterback position. Like, that's what's going to happen. They're going to say that they love Stefanski, or they're going to say they love Barry. We're committed. And then, I don't know, when we get to the offseason, that's where they're going to pull the levers of whatever they think is the best course of action, whether it's moving on from Barry, DePodesta, Stefanski, cleaning house, moving on from all of them. Who knows? But, yeah, we won't get one inkling, I think, until we get to the offseason, most likely, unless things get so untenable. But at this point, we're honestly, it's the best thing that could happen if we go 2-15, right? Like, I know this isn't a great draft, but we have to find a great young player. Anyway, I don't want to screw that up even though I want to win on Sundays. I want to win, but right now I want us to go 2-15. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's talk about the Cavs. We are 9-0, and I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch this game, but there was a very, very good defense being played throughout that game. Offense was clicking for the most part. Very, very quality win. It's hard to win when you're 8-0, right? Cavs did it again. And now,
You know what?
We have a good test on Friday. I will be there. Golden State Warriors.
You know what, man? Everybody on that team is contributing. The Lord may not love the Browns, but he loves the Cavs. I'll tell you that much. They got 10, 11 guy rotation going, and everybody's contributing, man. Everyone. And I'll tell you what, if you can get Dean Wade going, he's the perfect man. Garland is becoming a true point guard in this offense man. I am so excited about the Cavs, man, and I really not an NBA guy anymore, like back when it was my NBA. But and I say that as far as like knowing players on other teams and depth and but man, I'm really starting to get in. I've been reading more basketball. I haven't read a Browns or a football, nothing. Watched any. All I'm doing is a little bit of baseball right now because it's crazy with free agency and it's too much speculation. I'm starting to get into the Cavs big time, man. I think we should go Dawg Chug for the rest of until spring training at least.
So Roger, you're not reading any football. What about the Lions? Obviously you're following the Lions.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to let me talk about the Lions all the time.
You made the comment. I'm not reading football. I'm just.
Oh, well, the Lions I'm paying attention to, but we'll worry about the Lions. We'll start watching them in January when they head to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Fair enough.
I got my Megatron shirt on the way.
Yeah. Nice.
Ooh.
One thing I like about the Cavs, we're talking about the Cavs. Kenny Atkinson obviously coming in, making a big difference. I think that was, what Dan Gilbert wanted when he kept the core four together. And he said, okay, well, give me Atkinson, who had previous experience with Jared Allen and such in Brooklyn. But what I like to see when you saw the score tonight, 131 to 122, is the Cavs are scoring, and they're scoring in bunches. This is their fourth game out of 9 games that they're scoring above 130 points a game. I mean, this is crazy. Looking like the Nuggets of the 1980s with Alex English.
Right.
This is some fun stuff right here, fun brand of basketball, unlike the Mike Fratello days of the 90s when you're pulling teeth to score, 75 points. But that's the thing. I think with this Cavs team, if you keep them interested, they got that core four, but plus a Coro. I mean, if they're scoring 130 a night, I know they gave up 122. Who cares? You're just going to score 130. I'll take my chances in getting victories, especially with the way they're playing a fast brand of basketball. It's fun in Cleveland. It's going to be a fun season, and I'm with Roger. Why not make a Cavs Chug? Because I think we got a Eastern Conference final contender with the Cleveland Cavaliers this year, and possibly NBA Finals if you get past Boston. So it's going to be a fun run, I think.
Nice. It's going to be a fun run. It has been a fun run. We literally went from the Guardians, and when their miraculous run ended, we just went right to the Cavs.
Yeah.
The Lord.
What I like about the Cavs, and I'm gonna follow up with you real quick. Sorry, Andy. So the thing I like about the Cavs is we got a bunch of guys scoring double figures.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like 3, it's 6 or 7. I mean, Ty had 11 tonight? What a rookie. Yeah. I mean, what a find. I mean, goodness gracious. When you got like 6 or 7 guys scoring double digits, you're getting the ball in the hands of different people, and just opposing defenses don't know who to cover. Like, we got to cover LeVert, we're going to cover Ty, who we're going to cover? Oh crap, it's coming from Wade. Forget it, we're done.
Sam Merrill, man, yeah.
Sammy.
This
goes to show you.
Go ahead, Bill. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, it just goes to show you. I think if we had Dean Wade through the playoffs last year,
wow,
yeah. I think we could have had a much different. Now, granted, I know we had enough guys who were injured anyhow, but
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But I mean,
you know what that tells me, man. When you got 11 guys contributing, is that there's a lot of teams that were great during the regular season. Basketball, it's easy to be great when you're a running team in the regular season because you're going from city to city to city, teams aren't studying you. They're not preparing. Play a 5-game series or a 7-game series against a team. That's when you want to see how much depth you got on the bench.
Right.
That's because we're not going to play 11 guys in a 5-game series, 7-game series, but we're going to need 9 of them, and you got 11 of them, and it's a tough, you got hard decisions to make, and that's a good problem to have. Because you need depth to win in the NBA in a 7-game series. And when I just see like you said, the rotations, he's throwing darts out there, to putting guys in, trying different things. And it seems like everything's working. And yeah, man, they're just, thank God for the Guardians and the Cavaliers, huh? City of Cleveland. We need is a hockey team, and we'll have 3 professional teams that are good. That'd be awesome.
You can take the Blue Jackets anytime you want.
Move them up here.
On. They feel bad for the Blue Jackets. That was just brutal this offseason. Just
it still hurts.
And they're what? They're like in 4th place so far in the Eastern.
Yeah,
I think early on.
Yeah, they're kind of treading. They're better than
my knowledge of hockey. That might mean they're in last place or they're in middle.
Hey, doesn't Haslam own a soccer team there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the Columbus
soccer team that keeps winning.
Well,
and aren't their colors like
they choked. They just choked.
They just choked big time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Their season's over. Yeah. But D Haslam runs that club.
Yeah, she does. She does. Fair enough. And
she does. My understanding from what I've heard from people and read about that, she gets the people in there like, what do we need to do? What do you need from me? She's not making it about her. It's like, what do you need from me? You guys are the experts. Just tell me what you need, and I'll get you what you need.
There's no Columbus homeless people getting goalies. Telling her what goalies to draft? Are you kidding me? Really?
No, we do not have that. No, not up I-71 and 70. There's no homeless now.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we've got some
Chug.
Ed, I'm going to turn it to you. I did I did update 1 or 2 of them. I hope you don't mind.
No, it's fine.
I'll take it away.
Okay. All right, it's time for Spit, Sip, Chug, a game with so much fame and acclaim. And yes, I did give it its name. That's right. I will say a statement, not a question. If you heavily agree with that statement, you will take a nice, healthy chug. If you vehemently hate that statement, you'll spit like Andy does on his floor and then make his kids clean it up. And if you're kind of lukewarm on that statement, you can just take a nice sip. I think we're going to go with the no sip Roger rule tonight. All in favor? Do the ayes have it?
Oh, what is that? Explain that to me.
Roger is not allowed to sip. He has to chug or spit.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm all for that.
The sipping occasionally should be
utilized.
But unfortunately, Roger, he always sips because
he abuses it. He
doesn't have a position either way.
Yes.
Usually by this point in the show, he's too drunk to make a call. So he just goes, I'll sip. Yeah. That's assuming he heard us, which sometimes
I like it.
Yeah, we want to make the best audience experience possible. So no sipping to Roger tonight. We will start with you, Bill, since you are our guest tonight with the first statement, and that being the Browns need a roster overhaul. I don't want to use the word rebuild, but the Browns need a roster overhaul.
I am going to sip on that.
Okay.
Need to do that.
Roger. Nice.
Starting out with Roger.
There are some areas that we're going to have trouble with. The offensive line is going to be a mess. I mean, you've got expiring contracts there. You've got guys who haven't performed. I mean, we could very well, we get a 1st-round pick this year, right? We could very well have to use that on an offensive lineman, right? But yet we need playmakers, right? The defense has just been disappointing, other than, a couple individual players. It is, I think we all thought the defense was going to carry this team for the first 5 or 6 weeks until the offense started to warm up and then go from there, right? I do think there's some things that we need. I think an overhaul would send the sign to the fans that that we're waving the white flag. And in the NFL, I mean, I'm sorry, if the Washington Commanders can have 2 years of crap and then now have this, have what they're having right now, and it's through their drafts. And the Texans, the same thing. Granted, I know the Texans got our picks pretty much to help them out, but still, you can have success in the NFL quickly without having to tear it down to the studs. We already teared it down to the studs. I don't think the fans would be able to do that. I mean, unless you're going to tear it down to the studs and then say, oh, when we open up at the Brook Park Browns, then we'll be all okay again. I not an overhaul, but there are some concerns on here that I don't know if we're going to be able to deal with real well because of our salary cap issues. So sipping.
All right.
Roger.
It's a trick question. It's a trick question, so I'm going to chug on it. Because do they need the ownership needs an overhaul. The front office needs an overhaul. So is the roster need an overhaul if the front office, we're under the assumption that everything's going to be the status quo, that Barry's going to be back, that Stefan, the only thing they're going to do, they're going to fire the offensive line coach and nobody knows his fucking name. That's going to be the big move and the big change. And maybe if we're lucky, they'll hire Watson's personal quarterback coach and put him on the staff. That would be fucking tremendous too. The NFL's built for teams to rebound and to come back and be competitive within 2 or 3 seasons. Like you said, look at the Commanders. You look at the Texans, but look at C.J. Stroud struggling. Defensive coordinator's got the book on him, and he hasn't been able to adjust to it. They found a way how to attack him, and he hasn't countered. But beside that, they were able to build back into a contender. They were right back in the playoffs, playing the team that traded them all them picks. But the thing is, the Browns have failed to over and over and over again, failed to, turn that corner. And it's like at every turn. I don't know what needs to happen, man. I don't know. I know this. They're going to roll Deshaun Watson back out there next year. I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback, but just imagine in 2 seasons with a young drafted quarterback, the anticipation of the draft, the new stadium opening up, they're not worried about a damn thing. They don't give a shit. They know that they can flip it over and be looking at drafting a franchise quarterback and opening a new dome. And everybody will be excited. And Nick Carnes will be leading the fucking parade. And everybody will be on the bandwagon. They don't care, man. They do not care. Did I chug already?
Well, I think after that, you deserve to chug again. That's quite the response to that statement.
You go 7 minutes, you got to chug.
Yeah, right. There's well, I will
You
follow
put
that.
restrictions on me.
Yeah, well, it's what we do around here. But I will follow that chug and that statement or response and that chug with a chug of my own. I will chug to this statement. I do think the Browns need a roster overhaul. I mean, obviously, we need another quarterback. You need probably another running back, depending on if Nick Chubb can get healthy. But still, you're going to need probably 2 other ones. Wide receivers, I know Tillman's look good, but you probably need Judy, okay, I guess. But I mean, I'd take that Travis Hunter kid from Colorado if he's available. The offensive line. I mean, let's be real. I mean, is Batonio going to come back? I don't know. Maybe he could retire for all I know. So you need to overhaul that offensive line, defensive line. Besides Myles Garrett, I don't know. They're all energy. You get rid of them. Besides JOK and the linebackers, probably could upgrade all of those guys. And then you look at the secondary. Besides Ward, I think Newsome. Sorry, but I mean, let's be real. So, and obviously we saw MJ Emerson this year. Sucks. So I think, if you actually break it down by position, I know people say, oh, it's don't have to tear it down. Well, I don't think you have to tear it down, but I think you do need a roster overhaul because as I broke it down by position group, I mean, let's be real. It needs a lot of tinkering. And I don't know if Andrew Berry's the right guy to be doing that, but that's another statement or something else. But so I'm chugging on that one. Andy.
Yeah. So look, the roster is not the problem of the Cleveland Browns right now. The quarterback position is the problem. And in my mind, when you don't have confidence in your quarterback, it's really hard to play team football when the most important position isn't getting it done, isn't executing. I don't know. Everyone gets a little off kilter. Everything gets a little sloppy. The Browns have been doing this for 25 years without a quarterback. So here we go again. We're seeing signs of it. If you brought Kirk Cousins into this team, like the most mediocre, slightly above average quarterback onto the Browns roster, everything else was the same. I think this team would be like 5-3 and be right in the thick of the wild card hunt, or maybe even surge to the to the division. If you had Patrick Mahomes, this would be a Super Bowl caliber team, in my opinion. I could be insane for thinking that, but I think he could like wash off the warts that the roster has and make it make it good enough that we would excel. I believe that. I think the roster is in fine shape. I just think we didn't have a quarterback. And sorry, actually more to the problem of what befalls the Cleveland Browns. It's the nonsense. They keep trotting the guy out because they paid him $230 million, and they keep saying he gives us the best chance to win, when everyone in that building knows that's not true. And if they're not doing everything to help this team win, why am I going to kill my body and do everything to help? I mean, I think everyone just kind of starts worrying about their career year and their stats, and everyone's just going in a million different directions. That's the problem the Cleveland Browns are having. So bring a quarterback in here, and I think the roster's just fine. So I'm spitting.
Well, wow. Well, we appreciate you, Andy, killing your body on the Dawg Chug every week. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. We will go to statement number 2. Andy did go ahead with I make the Google Doc. I can't believe somebody actually looks at it. Andy actually did. He did upgrade some of them, but I am going to upgrade the order because I think it just flows a little better. We'll go to statement number 2, and we'll start with Roger. And that statement being, the Browns need to upgrade their head coach like the Cavs did with Bickerstaff.
I'm spitting. Just as much as everybody thinks, I don't think Kevin Stefanski is the problem at all. Bill said it earlier. Kevin Stefanski has gone up to that podium since day one, since they brought Deshaun Watson aboard, which you cannot convince me in a million years that that's the quarterback that Kevin Stefanski wanted to run his system. Can't convince Andy. You just mentioned Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is killing it in Atlanta. You put him on this roster before Amari Cooper's gone, to start the season with Amari Cooper, and you're talking about a playoff contender and easily a contender in the AFC North. You're right, it's a quarterback problem, and you're right, everything rolls off of that. Kevin Stefanski would have a job immediately as an offensive coordinator, probably in Detroit, because that guy's going to get a job as a head coach after this season. He would be, because he's from that division, he knows that division. He would be with that Goff. It'd be lights out. But he'd probably get some head coaching interviews too, because the guy's a good football coach. He's a good football coach. I don't care what anybody says. No, I don't think in this instance Bickerstaff is the same thing. I think a Bickerstaff comparison to a Tito with the change is absolutely comparable, apples to apples. But I think this is apples to oranges when you're talking what happened with the Cavaliers and the Browns. A coaching change would fix something. No, absolutely not. No.
Wow. I'm saying unfortunately because I really wanted to sip or chug, but I'm going to have to spit like that because I do think Kevin Stefanski is a quality head coach. Now, is he perfect? No.
No.
And I see a lot of people on X and they're arguing and saying basically the Watson Warriors are always, why does Watson always take the criticism, but Kevin Stefanski takes none and all this. And I'm thinking to myself, if Deshaun Watson wasn't the quarterback and we actually had a capable quarterback to like Andy's point of even the Kirk Cousins caliber, then we wouldn't be in this position. You looked at Baker Mayfield in 2020. You looked at Kirk Cousins when he was with Kevin Stefanski in Minnesota. Like I've always said, the Kevin Stefanski formula for quarterbacks is basically 20 25 to 30 touchdowns, 8 to 10 interceptions. That's what you saw Baker in 2020. That's what you saw Kirk Cousins. That's what he would get out of his quarterback. He doesn't need somebody like Deshaun Watson running around out of the pocket when it's a clean pocket doing stupid things. And, maybe if Deshaun Watson could read a fucking defense, sorry to all you Watson warriors out there, but you got a guy, you go back to even Houston. You can't read a fucking defense. Sorry. And I hate to always keep using the F word, but, he's a playmaker. He's a Michael Jordan of football, according to Dabo Sweeney. That works in college. In the NFL, if you can't read a defense, get the F off the field. And Kirk Cousins can read a defense. Baker Mayfield can read a defense. Kevin Stefanski designs people to get open. Kevin Stefanski's a good coach. How many times are we watching these all 22s after the game and we're thinking, you know what, there were guys wide open. And that's the thing. And Kevin Stefanski, say what you want, not the perfect coach, but a good enough head coach to get Coach of the Year twice. So obviously he's recognized by his peers. He's not an idiot. And I think with an average quarterback to good quarterback, this Browns team is a perennial playoff team. So I am having to spit on that one. Andy.
Hey, wait a minute. This is exactly why I wrote you in the ballot yesterday. Damn it. I'm chugging on that.
Hell yeah.
That's why you were my write-in.
I think Columbus for president. Let's go. Make it happen. I'm at the point, I'm a huge Stefanski fan. I have a picture on my wall. Love the guy. But it is a little hard to defend to a degree. But I don't think it's his fault. Again, I pontificated about my issues with the quarterback. This team went all in on the wrong quarterback, and now we're suffering because of it. So I don't think it's Stefanski's fault. So I'm going to what am I going to do? Spit? No, I'm not. I don't think. I think Stefanski's still above JB, but at the same time, if they moved on from him, I don't think I'd be like super pissed off, provided they had a good plan, whatever. But again, I don't think he's the problem. So I'm spitting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bill.
I'm going to spit this one, but I'm going to do a little kind of clarification.
Is that like a hairball from a cat or something?
Wow.
Like,
59-year-old spit right there. Good job.
Right. That's what I got to look forward to.
Beg pardon there. So I have been kind of a critic of Stefanski's over the past couple of years. I think part of it has been I don't like the dual role of head coach and offensive coordinator. I think if you are like an Andy Reid, that's okay because you have that track record with the Eagles, right? If you're a head coach for, if you're an offensive coordinator for a while, and then you're also head coach, I get that. I think Stefanski has, as an offensive coordinator, I do think he's really good. I think he's terrible at making adjustments after halftime. That is one of the most frustrating things that I think with him. And the second thing is, I'm sorry, maybe he's so involved in the offense. There are times he just makes some really boneheaded time decisions. Like, isn't there somebody there telling him call a timeout, or isn't there somebody telling him no? I just there are times when in the game, as you're watching the game, and you're like, okay, Stefanski, call timeout, or okay, Kevin, just you need to say something to the referees because you guys are getting hosed here, right? But instead, he gets the Denny's menu playbook up and it keeps looking. I do think that he's learned a lot in the job, and it's a huge, huge learning curve, and I do understand that, and let's face it, we Browns fans put so much pressure on not just the players, but our head coach. And the Browns themselves put the head coach as the figurehead for the whole organization. Thus, the fact that Barry and DePodesta don't have to sit there in front of the crowd. They're going to let him take care of everything. I mean, I still am to this day. I'm still pissed off that they had Stefanski have to answer all the questions for Deshaun Watson. He had to, that whole first interview. He had to do everything, and it wasn't hit. You could see how uncomfortable he was, and I felt I kind of felt bad for him with that. But as a head coach, I don't think it's a JB thing. Getting back to the Cavalier question part here, Kenny Atkinson does have it is funny. They both have this offensive mindset that as assistant coaches that they brought, right? And the one thing that I think that Kevin is starting to learn, but I still don't think he has it, that I think Atkinson has learned. Atkinson is more than happy, like, hey, you know what? We played great defense. I'm not going to mess with it.
Yeah.
You know, we'll do some things on offense, but these guys have a really good offensive or a defensive mind already because of JB. He didn't change anything really.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's the thing that with Kevin, there are times I think he learns, then there are times I think he forgets what he learns. And right now, I don't know if the front office has faith in him. I think they put him out there because it's like, hey, you're gonna have to deal with this. But I think Kevin has been hamstrung by DePodesta and Barry, and who knows, maybe Haslam too. And I do think this offseason was horrendous in terms of the coaching turnover. And I think, let's see, I think Roger, you kind of said it too. For an organization that is supposed to be data driven, like we make all of our decisions based on data and everything else. And the most important position, as Andy said, the quarterback, you have data in front of you about how bad he is, but yet you don't do anything about it. You just put him back out there because you're not even following your own philosophy. That's the thing that is, I think, is most frustrating to Browns fans. You know, they say they're data driven, but yet they're not following anything with that. So this is going to be a really strange offseason, and it's a shame because there was so much riding on this season, and it all went to hell. And I can't blame Stefanski for that. He does have some of it, but he doesn't have all of it.
Fair enough.
Well said.
Wow. Nice. We have some strong answers tonight. Strong answers. Maybe if our political candidates could have gave these strong answers during the season, it might have been easier to stomach. But
I'm trying to get drunker faster, so we get back on course.
well,
and the answers aren't so strong.
Well, this one will get. I got a feeling this one may not get you drunk.
Got something for me?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go to statement number 3, and we'll start with me, and it will be Jimmy Haslam needs to fund his dome with all private monies. Okay, so I'm gonna chug on this one. Now, obviously, the stadium in Brook Park, he's going to put up $2.4 billion, and he's asking for about another $1.2 billion. But, you know, he's made some financial decisions lately. Obviously, the $100,000 for issue 1. Obviously, he was successful in his attempts with that one. He's given, I think, $6.5 million to Republican causes over the past couple election cycles. So it seems like Jimmy is aligning himself to get the right people in place to get his public funding done easier. But as a fan, the product on the field sucks, and 2-7. So Jimmy has them. I'm chugging. Fund your own damn stadium, and I'll be there rooting for your bad product on Sunday. Andy.
Yeah, the owners buy these teams because it's a license to print money. It should be like a scam. Like we have shows about like Tony Soprano, you know, ripping off New Jersey. There should be. Yeah, you should almost look at the owners in the same way. I mean, because they buy these teams, and they make billions of dollars, I guess, and they go up in value. And at the end of the day, should he fund it? Yes, but is that realistic to assume? Of course not, because that's not the way it's done. They have so much power when they own these teams. The NFL is so powerful that. Because Jimmy is one of the kings that gets to own one of these teams, he gets to just fucking rape our city because we love football so much. And unless we decide that we don't want to invest in the football product, which I'm not willing to do because I fucking love football, it's going to continue to be that way. They have an incredible brand. I will continue supporting it. I assume everyone else will as well. And because of that, Jimmy gets the luxury of setting the price where I'm going to build this this incredible, stadium that is going to host all these events, and I'm going to just increase my, my billions. I'm going to go from like a 4.8 billion to 6.5 billion over the next 5 years, and that's cool for me. I'm not going to sit here and say like I like it, but that is the way it is, and there's no reality where like Jimmy Haslam should just say, you know what, guys, I'm going to do right by Cleveland because I've put a shitty product on the team, and I'm just going to pay for the whole damn thing because I'm going to make my money anyway. Yeah, he's not a fool. He's not going to do that. He's not trying to be a good person. He's trying to make money. God bless him, I guess, supposedly. But what am I doing? Am I chugging on this? Am I spitting?
Do what you want, Andy. Do what you want.
Jimmy Haslam needs to fund the dome.
Chug on it.
He does
Chug
not
on it.
need to
chug.
No, he needs to take taxpayer money because that's what owners get to do. So,
you should chug anyway.
I'll chug. Fuck you.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Bill.
I'll chug with you.
Okay, so I'm going to sip this, and I think Andy, you hit upon a couple of good things. I think so. Like every free agent player has a lawyer, has an agent that is trying to give him advice. And that advice typically is you need to do this because you're going to do it for the rest of the free agents after you, right? So you're going to do the hold in or the holdout or whatever, right? I think Haslam's going to have to do the same thing because other owners, I mean, right now, I'd have to say probably every owner hates Haslam. They probably have his picture on a bullseye in their office. And whenever they're bored, they're like, here we go. Let's hit Jimmy in the nose again. Hey, hot dog, got ourselves. Because, what he did with the Deshaun Watson contract, I think angered probably just every single one in the way that he's kind of done things too here. I think there's enough owners here who just hate him, right? I think he needs to have this so that the other owners can at least say, okay, he's doing what we're expected to do when, if we want, a new stadium down in Florida. We want a new stadium in Buffalo. We want a new stadium. I think he's going to have to do that. And I think if he were to say, I'm going to invest all my own money for it, he might actually get some serious goodwill from the fans. If he says, you know what, I'm just going to write the check for it. And I couldn't remember, did Jerry Jones pay for the entire AT&T stadium for the Cowboys? Or did he get some?
He played a majority of it. I don't know if it was 100%.
I don't know if he paid all of it. And if any of the fans listening right now, if you know a little bit better than that, but I mean, if he were to do that, if he were to just say, I'm just going to, I'm going to write the check for this, he could very well just get so many fans on his side that it's going to be hard for any fan to be critical of Haslam going forward. I mean, that is one of the things to think about. But I think he is going to probably take some of the public money just because that's what every owner does. And like Andy said, the NFL is, I think they're always trying to squeeze whatever they can out of the cities, right? And then ultimately the fans again. So not only do we pay it in the tickets and the jerseys and the food and the beer and everything else, we also pay it in the taxes that we have to pay for that. So I don't know. That's why I think I don't think he's going to pay the whole thing. I think he's going to get some public. But I tell you though, if he does pay the whole thing, I think there are going to be a lot of fans like, how can I be critical of him now? He's paying the whole thing out of his pocket, right? I mean, seriously, right. Think about that for a minute. That would blow my mind if he were to pay that whole thing. I think then a lot of people are going to be like, we can't criticize him.
Wow. Well, we do have break-ed news. Speaking of Jerry Jones, he did not pay for all of the construction of AT&T Stadium. Arlington voters passed a 0.5% increase in sales tax and hotel occupancy taxes. City of Arlington paid $325 million in bonds to help cover the stadium. There were some cost overruns estimated at $650 million. So, but he did pay a considerable amount, to your point. Okay. But I do think that public money is going to be needed. I don't think 1.2 billion. I mean, now it wasn't 1.2 billion. It was only maybe about 400 to 500 million. So, I mean, there's a little bit of help there that could help the taxpayers out. So maybe if you got the cost down to your point, Bill, that would create some goodwill there. So, yeah, I like what you're saying. Roger, what do you got on this one?
Let me tell you something, man. When I was a little kid, growing up, going to my grandmother's for Thanksgiving dinner, the Lions were always on TV, right? And I went to the Pontiac Silverdome for a game, and Gary Danielson was young quarterback. And when we're in Detroit, it's just like Cleveland was nice compared to what Detroit was. And they lived in Flint, Michigan, my dad's family. And so we traveled to Detroit. We go inside and we pull up to the Silverdome, and it's like the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life. Right. And we go inside, and, now I've been to Muni Stadium. I told a story with the fat Cincinnati Bengal fan that knocked my hot dog out of my hand and in that cold, miserable place. And I'm in the Silverdome as a little kid. Well, I go there again in '89. I'm like 19 years old, and Barry Sanders, he rushed for like 200 yards. He had like 5 touchdowns. And I'm at this game in the Silverdome. It's right before, it was like in '89. They stopped playing there early 2000s. And I'm like, Cleveland needs a dome, and he said he's going to get the money, and he's, because the county's going to make money, the city of Brook Park. I still see maybe a land swap with Cleveland and Brook Park and possibilities. There's a lot of things. He's going to get the money, from the taxpayers, because it's going to generate revenue. They're going to build hotels. It's going to be a lot of jobs. Just restaurants, bars. It's going to be nuts. But I'll tell you what, man, just being in a dome to see a football game, I was just, it's a long overdue. Cleveland needs it. Whoever pays for it. I live in Summit County. I don't give a shit, I'm not paying for it. I really don't have a say in it. But as a little kid, that experience of being at Muni and then being in the Silverdome, I'm like, man, we need one of these. I remember thinking that as a little kid. My 2 cents.
Nice. Okay. And we will go to last statement number 4. Once again, Andy came through with a great statement right here. So I just want to give you credit. And we'll start with you on this one. Little fun, switch it up. The Cavs will win the in-season tournament that starts next week. What say you, Andy?
Oh my gosh, I'm unprepared. It's so hard because, there is a part of me that feels like teams kind of have an ebb and flow, right? When you start winning games, then you're probably going to lose some games, right? Like, just kind of the way it goes. Not that the Cavs aren't capable of being 9-0, but they're clearly not going to finish the season 82-0. So at some point, we guys are losing. So are they going to be able to continue the momentum that they started by going 9-0? It's hard for me to think that they will. However, what I'm going to say is that it's the perfect time for the in-season tournament, because the Cavs are a team that, brought in what I believe is an upgraded coach that's getting everyone to play to their strengths really, really well. That's letting the bench play. Everyone's contributing. Everyone's having a blast. I mean, you could see the effort is just maximum intensity. So I do believe having this silly little in-season tournament starting at the peak of their 9-0 run, it's probably a good thing, because I feel like that will motivate them they're not playing to go 10-0 and 11-0 because who gives a shit about that? Eventually they're going to lose a game. Now we're playing to prove that we're not the same, losers that 2 years ago just got obliterated by New York. Last season, won a playoff series we were supposed to win, and then got handled by Boston. We want to know that look, last time the Trump won the election, right? The Cavs won. The they believe. Okay, we're gonna do it again.
Huge, Andy, huge.
We are gonna win the whole goddamn thing. And I feel like that's the mentality in the locker room. That's what's going to be motivating them when this tournament starts. What's in a couple days?
Yeah,
I think they're going to win. They're going to win it, and I hope they can keep the momentum going. I love the Cavs. Every game, it's like a pleasure to watch. So I'm chugging.
Nice. Bill, how do you follow that? Ooh. Whoa! That's how you follow that, with a chug.
I think Bill's chugging.
I was not a fan of this in-season tournament. I think it's just a money grab for the NBA, right? I mean, I think it's a way for them to try and force their players to take games seriously, right? And shouldn't they anyhow? I mean, like, I remember when I was a kid and I went to like one of my first NBA games when they were playing at the old Cleveland Arena. And you used to be able to go down to the floor in warm-ups to get signatures. It was like the coolest thing. We were all like halfway at the basket, just, if anyone would sign anything. I mean, it was surreal, right? Like today there's no way you could do that now, right? And so I think the NBA was trying to figure out, okay, let's see. Soccer does this, right? Soccer has their in-season. I mean, heck, the Premier League out in England, and really all leagues overseas have all these different, crazy tournaments during the regular season.
They keep it
and
real.
It works because you're able to get more people you get more of your players to play meaningful minutes. You can see more of what you have with your team. And I think at first I was like, this is kind of stupid, but then I'm like, I kind of see the benefit of it. So I think this is definitely going to be a benefit for the Cavaliers, and not. What the hell? I mean, you're going to go big, right? I mean, if anything, that's what we learned, that it's going to be huge, right? That's what it is. It's going to be huge, right? So why not go ahead and all out and try to win the thing?
Nice.
Yeah,
absolutely. Roger, how you feeling?
Man, I'm not allowed to sip, right?
No.
nope.
You know what? This is important. Andy kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. I'm going to chug on it. I was buying time there. I forgot which the question was or the statement was. I was waiting to read it, scroll across the screen. I think this is important for team building. When it comes to playing, like I said, the NBA, you're on the road, you're winning games, you're traveling to the next city, you're playing another team, you're coming back, and you're building a camaraderie. And then all of a sudden you get into a tournament, and it's just like baseball. Two completely different sports than playing football. Basketball and baseball are similar into growing a brotherhood within the team because they're smaller rosters. A baseball team, Major League's 25, but when you're talking about what I'm involved in, 12 kids. Talking about basketball, 12. You're on the road, and all of a sudden you're in a tournament, and that's where they'll really grow together. I think that tournament. I don't know what the main the view of it is. I think it's added a lot to the NBA because really the NBA didn't start until after Christmas before this tournament. And I think if teams really I think it's a good thing. And I think it's important for the Cavaliers this year. It's their 55th year. I'm 55. My number 55, my kids. This is the year they're going to win. They're going to win another championship right now this year.
Wow.
Okay, I am going to make it, I believe, a clean sweep with a chug.
Oh, we're all going to chug then.
That means we all chug.
Hey, there's an update. The beer has kicked in.
Yes, the Cleveland Cavaliers will win the NBA in-season tournament because of the brand of basketball they play. To your point, Roger, they're going from city to city and playing, teams that aren't scouting them and all this fun stuff. But that's fun for us and good for us because we play a great brand of basketball. So I do think they're going to win. And plus, maybe I think they're going to win because I believe a guy named LeBron James and the Lakers won it last year. And I think it'd be kind of cool if Cleveland won it this year. Just for the fact that we can say, hey, look, we match you with an in-season tournament, LeBron, for the hell of it. And I think the big prize is obviously going to be in June, but it doesn't hurt to have some nice hardware. And also, too, the NBA in-season court, it looks a little bit cooler than I think it did last year. So kudos to the Cavaliers for designing something that doesn't look like complete garbage and hurt your eyes when you see it. So, yeah, that will end a rousing edition.
By the way, speaking of the Lakers, I know we lost Bill. I'm sure he's trying to get back in.
Yeah.
How refreshing is it that like the Cavs are just out here playing great basketball, playing great defense? Oh my gosh, Garland's offense has been so many good things are happening, and the Lakers are PR bringing in Ronnie. Like nonsense, right? Like he's not worthy of being on an NBA team, right? I think that's fair.
I think that's fair as well.
So the Lakers, one of the greatest NBA organizations of all time, are like down to PR stunts, and the Cavs are just like getting it done. And you look back, not that long ago, a lot of us were questioning, should we blow this roster up? Like, is Evan Mobley going to be able to take the next step? There were a lot of questions in Cleveland, and I'm very proud that they stuck to the game plan, upgraded their coach. We'll see if it pays off. Obviously, it's way too early, but man, we're what, like 2.5, 3 weeks in, and it's been a fun ride. So
it's been perfect so far.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you, Dawg.
Well, that will lead us to hey, what's up, Pronky?
Hey, I saw, the Dong's here.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was me.
Donger.
That was me.
That's you.
No.
You know what? We know that it's you. It's your burner.
Obviously.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're back, Bill.
You know what he does? He has Heather upstairs. He convinced her to put a thing up while he has his hands up. And I'm not gonna believe you're not Pronk's Dong until I see you, him, and Alfred in the same fucking room. I told you that. You, him, and Alfred in the same room. You're
Alfred, by the way.
That's your burner.
Got it. Okay.
Hey, Bill, don't believe him. Pronk's Dong is Andy's burner. Don't listen to him. He's lying to you.
It's so great. Okay. We have one final bit to do here, and that is
all right.
The 5 for 5.
That's actually Andy. We have 2 bits left.
You want to do the rapid fire?
Yes, that's right,
Yeah,
Bill.
hey,
now that you got your internet, it looks like good.
I don't know what's going on, man.
All right, we're going to go right to rapid fire.
Yes, you're getting ready for rapid fire. Bill, I'm going to give you a bunch of questions. You have 3 seconds to answer. I just want a yes or no. I don't need any other words. 3 seconds to answer.
Just say answer as fast as you can.
Andy, the game is 3 seconds. Okay, here we go, Bill. The Cleveland Browns can win 8 games in a row.
No.
Andrew Berry needs fired.
Yes.
Kevin Stefanski needs fired.
No.
The equipment manager needs fired.
No.
Browns need to draft a franchise quarterback.
Yes.
Cavs can win the NBA championship.
Yes.
Kenny Atkinson will win Coach of the Year.
Yes.
Darius Garland is great again.
No.
Jarrett Allen is fucking awesome.
Yes.
The Guardians will be players this offseason.
Absolutely.
The Buckeyes will win the Big Ten.
No.
Michigan hired the wrong guy as their head coach.
Yes.
Andy is an alcoholic.
No.
Ed in Columbus is a winner.
Fucking moron.
No.
Roger is the glue that holds the Dawg Chug together.
Absolutely.
And finally, what is the best Thanksgiving Day meal side dish?
Let's go.
3 seconds up.
Potatoes. I said, you son of a biscuit.
That will conclude rapid fire.
All right, nice job.
Good job.
Thanks, Andy.
What was your answer?
Mashed potatoes.
One of my favorite things is the sweet potatoes that you put in a crock pot and you just put a ton of butter and cinnamon, and then you top it off like the last 35 minutes with marshmallows. It's like
okay.
a dessert vegetable.
Yeah.
It's
hate
heavenly, man. Dude, it's heavenly.
I don't like sweet potatoes, man.
Oh, you don't?
Sweet potato.
This isn't
Yeah,
sweet
I'm
potatoes.
sleeping
It's
it
like
out of it.
dessert. Dude, it's like dessert.
Oh man. No, I've
Oh,
had it.
all right.
I
all
think
right.
I think pumpkins should be barred and banned. If that was on the ballot, I would have voted for that. Anything pumpkin or yam or anything, all of it. Any gourd, all gourds should be banned. I would have voted yes on that issue.
But Roger, if you're eliminating gourds, then you're eliminating yourself.
That's true, but it's worth it, Andy. It's worth it to get rid of the pumpkin spice.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well,
I'll take the bullet.
nice. Okay. We're gonna do our last bit, which is we're all gonna pick a team, and if we all win, then we all get money, and then we can fund Jimmy's dome.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't have video, but Krista, I don't like when we bet on a Thursday game, but she bet on a Thursday game. She said, I'm betting on my favorite Ohio team. Again, I'm betting on the Bengals. So she took the Bengals against the Ravens plus 6.5. Bill will go to you.
See,
next.
that's a Thursday game, man. When we bet on the Thursday game, I'm not saying it's a bad bet, but it's like we're out the whole weekend.
We'll
when
be
we bet
out.
the Thursday game.
That's what I said to her, but we might be out tomorrow then. She said, no, fuck it. That's the right pick.
She did
All
say
right.
she actually used
All
those
right.
words.
You're
Fuck
the
it.
professional. You're the
So
professional.
So we have to. This is the game we have to choose. We can't pick another game. We have to.
No, you can
do
pick
this
any
one.
game you want.
You pick any game you want, any spread,
Oh.
college, NFL. You can take
College too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Michigan is
Michigan's got to play Indiana.
you
This
can
is
take Indiana minus 14.5 if you want. And that's a good bet.
Indiana is what?
Minus
14
14.5. They're going to win by 21, so it makes sense.
Wow.
That's probably.
Holy cow.
You can take anything you want, though. I'm not trying to influence you. Just trying to
Oh
make
my
money.
goodness. Well, let's see. We got a big game this weekend. It's Alabama and oh shoot. Is it Alabama? No, it's not Alabama, Georgia. Shoot, who is
What
it
is
this
she
weekend?
saying?
Darn
Uh,
it.
she said if Roger balks, tell him to suck.
Alabama, LSU. Alabama,
LSU. Yeah.
Suck my cock.
Yeah. I am going to
So-
go with Alabama. I think Alabama's going to savor. They're going to save their season. With a
Alabama
big victory over LSU.
is
I'm
minus
taking
2.5.
Alabama.
Yeah, he's taking the point.
Taking Alabama. They're going to save their
Oh, I love
season
it.
with this game.
All right, Roger.
Phil, I hope so. You're in. All right. First of all, he's so filthy. I know. I apologize saying Heather was manning the controls on that. It's got to be one of your sick poker friends.
I told
That
you
are-
it's my
that-
poker friend. It's my poker friend Job. Like I've told you that 100 times.
But it's still your burner. He's just
I'm not.
running it
I have
for
no
you.
control over it. Whatever. Who cares?
So you know what? If he came out of the closet, everybody'd be so much happier.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
He just has an obsession with like genitalia, male genitalia. He's obsessed with, and if he just came out of a closet, his boyfriend, his wife, everybody would be happier. All right, let's get to the picks.
All right. Detroit Lions are playing the Houston Texans. Texans are giving 3.5. Sorry. Your Lions are giving
What?
3.5.
The Lions are what? How many?
They're giving 3.5 to the Texans.
Oh, give me the Lions. Give the Texans. That's a Sunday night game, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, give the Texans. Give them 4.
All right.
Give them 5.
All right. It doesn't matter what you pick now because we're out, but
Yeah.
pick anyway.
Well, you know
I
where
got
I'm going.
Zedarius.
Oh,
Me and the Lord got Zedarius.
you're
We're
going
set, baby.
Cincinnati.
You know where I'm going with this. I'm going with that fictitious animal, the Bearcats of Cincinnati. They're playing West Virginia. What do we got line-wise?
Still looking for him.
because I think it's a home game. It's in Cincinnati. I know that. Well, so it's in Kentucky.
Satterfield will blow it.
He's giving 4.5.
Given 4.5 to West Virginia. You know what? I'm gonna settle up with the Bearcats. Give me the Bearcats. Give West Virginia all the points and all the teeth that they need. It doesn't matter. Cincinnati gets it done.
All right.
No, they won't.
I am gonna take the Pittsburgh Steelers suck, so I'm just gonna take the Washington Commanders minus 2.5 against
Good bet.
those Steelers. And I think
Interesting.
We have 5.
Minus 2.5.
Wow, that's pretty
Commanders minus 2.5 against the
Is it
Steelers.
in Pittsburgh?
It's in Washington.
Oh.
It's in
In
Washington.
Washington.
Hmm.
That's a good bet.
Hmm.
So if anyone wants to make a lot of money, take all 4 of those picks and then just swap
Do the opposite. Just do the-
Rogers pick. No. Swap Rogers pick to Houston, and then you're gonna make
Oh, okay.
And if you really want to make more money, take Indiana minus 14.5. It's Michigan. I don't know. I think go ahead and take Ohio State. Who are they?
Purdue. They got Purdue at home.
They got Purdue.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Purdue.
That's easy.
Hey,
win.
we
Purdue.
got a trophy that has an expiration date of 10 years on it.
Oh, stop it, Rogers.
Indiana, Ohio State, man. Indiana, Ohio
Yeah,
State is
that's
going to
gonna
be
be
the game of the year in the Big Ten.
Classic. Yes.
Nice.
Hey, I think I have the best record out of all of us. Out of this, I've only lost once. I've only had one at a college game, I bet.
Hmm.
It's the only loss I have all year.
All right, we'll do some
I'm
analysis.
carrying us.
Yeah, we'll look into that data dive right there because I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know.
Yeah,
All right.
I've only lost once.
Bill,
Roger.
the Browns are not playing this week. Thank God, right?
Thank God nobody bet them. We'd lose.
We have what was there 8 more games left to play? Yeah.
Who
8
cares?
more games.
Yeah.
What will you be doing on Sundays?
What will I be doing on Sunday?
Yeah, will you
I have got to fix my hot tub. So I'm gonna,
I'm
I
not
got
talking
the
about
part-
this Sunday. I mean all right, the Browns play on Sundays. Will you be
Continue to watch them as heavily
will
as
you
you
put
do.
them on like the TV while you're mowing the grass?
I got to be honest with you. I am really starting to be turned off by the Browns, and I think I'm 59. Been
Happy
rooting
birthday,
for this
Bill.
team since 72. Thank you. Been rooting for this team since 72, and it just gets harder and harder to spill your heart out when they just want to crush it, and as we talked about earlier, just there's really no energy from this team. There's nobody on here that other than Miles, and even then there are sometimes Miles goes missing. I mean, look at Texans in the playoff game last year. But I mean, who on that team are you excited about to go see? Who? Maybe Nick Chubb. Get it. I understand. Truthfully. After Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett, who? Nobody.
Corey
Tillman.
Bojorquez.
Bojorquez.
Cedric Tillman.
I mean, I don't know. So every Sunday going forward, I don't know. I may want, I definitely going to watch the divisional games. I think, because we do, right? That's what but I mean, we got one of the hardest schedules remaining for the year. We really do. And I mean, we had the easiest schedule, probably the first 5 games, and we blew that. And now we're going to have one of the most difficult schedules going forward. Guys, I don't know. This could be ugly. This could be 2-15. Ugly.
Andy will be happy then.
2-15 sounds great. Except
The-
on Sunday.
Excitement for you. Thanks a lot, Bill, for bringing down the whole show today. Really appreciate
I think we did that ourselves. So if you know what I'm saying, we didn't need any help, but thanks,
Listen.
Bill.
Hold on. I know we need to end the show, but Bill, how you're checked out right now? I mean, obviously that's what
Pretty
I'm
close.
checked out. I think we're all checked out. Roger was checked out before the season started. Remember remember the season they brought Hugh Jackson back for season number 3. And just seemed like, what the fuck are we doing? And it started horribly. It started as horrible as any of us could have imagined.
Right.
And then they finally fired him. Season got exciting, but in that season, how do you compare that season or even the 0-17 season to like this season? What was it easier to deal with that, or is this?
I think okay. So here's my thought. All right, this is what I'll kind of go with. This season had promise of us going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right. I think we all agree with that.
Super Bowl
and Super Bowl, Super Browns, right? But I think not only was that a misguided one because of all of our injuries and the fact that Barry really didn't do that much to build up on the areas where we were having those injured issues. It was setting us up and also, changing offensive coordinators and, firing who you fired and letting go who you wanted to let go. We had so much talent coming into this season that we should have been able to overcome. The fact that we have not been able to overcome, not only has that been disappointing, but it's been frustrating. I mean, the 0 season, we'll just call it the 0 season. What kind of talent do we have? Deshaun Kaiser. But I mean, you look at, other than Joe Thomas, who else do we have on there that we can sit there and say we were really excited to watch, right? Nobody, right? We had a lot of players this year. This year if we end up going 2-15, I think this year will be worse than the 0 season because of the promise that we had going in and how the brain trust allowed this season to go off the cliff.
All right.
And I think that's to me.
We had a parade for 0-16, Andy. So at least we
celebrated. We celebrated mediocrity. Hey, all right.
You're not going to get
mediocrity. It was below mediocrity.
Well, if you're going to do it,
I wish we were mediocre.
That was the first word that came to mind, Andy.
All right, hearing you say that, I completely agree. Like, there is, this roster should not be 2-15.
No,
it just shouldn't happen.
No,
but it might happen anyway. We'll find out how it ends. Hopefully, the Cavs keep it going, and the Dawg Chug will keep you entertained because that's what we do. With that, thank you, Bill, so much for coming on.
You guys are great. Thanks a lot.
Being Roger's editor, I mean, how much time does that take? Like, it must be hours. You hear him talk. Yeah, he goes on. He's word salad. How do you edit that?
Roger's speechless.
I've been distracted.
You've been drunk? What was that? Did you say drunk or distracted? I couldn't make out the two words.
No, man. No, just the Brown. Andy, you said it. I checked out before the season started, so I'm out. Well, go ahead. What were you saying, Ed?
I'm speechless now because after all of this, so I got nothing anymore.
All I know is it's gotten so awkward. I'm not even thinking about the election results. Fantastic. Well done. All right. This has been one of my favorite episodes of the Dawg Chug. Bill, you are a great show. You should come on all the time because you are the best.
Whenever you need me,
great insights.
Thank you guys for the invite. Always.
Time to talk about the Browns, and you did it with you did it amazingly. I appreciate it. And
Bill, your best birthday present. What'd you get this year? Anything cool?
I did actually. So I got two things. All right. So my wife got me a fryer. So I have been, every time that I make things, I have to put it in a big pan, so when I make my chicken cutlets, right, Roger, when I make my chicken cutlets, I got to use my cast iron and I love it. But now I have a fryer. And so I can just dip that in, pull them out. I can make French fries. I can do wings. Oh my gosh. That's the first thing. And the second thing, my boys got me a golf cart that I think I can put a television on there. I could put a little refrigerator at the bottom of it, and I could be walking around and I'm like, this is that I don't need the electrical cart. I'm just going to take my little golf cart with my clubs. I'm going to have my little television on. I'm going to have my little refrigerator down here. And I'm going to be like, I'm just going to be like it's Caddyshack all over.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful, man.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Those are 2 great gifts I got this year. I was greatly appreciated.
Bill,
Well done,
you're living
boys.
your
Well done, wife.
Yeah.
living your best life, man. That's for sure.
Lucky. God is good.
Well, we hope the Cavs deliver you an in-season tournament championship.
Yeah.
Because it might mean nothing, but it'll mean something to us. Because what the fuck else?
yeah.
We have? Anyway, thank you for a great show. I enjoyed this. It made me feel better. I hope it made everyone feel better, including you 3. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Roger, and most of all, thank you, Bill.
Yes.
And let's go Cavs. Drink if you got them. Go Browns.
Go Cavs.